General Hospital spoilers. Rocco and Britt bond. Surrogate son softens the Britch's hardened heart. For decades, General Hospital has thrived on its ability to mix heart-pounding drama with tender, unexpected connections. The soap knows how to take characters who are considered unredeemable and layer them with humanity until viewers can't help but root for them. And no character exemplifies that more than Dr. Britt Westbourne, famously nicknamed the Britch. Cold, calculating, selfish, and yet heartbreakingly vulnerable, Britt's story has always been about a woman who longs for love but sabotages it with her own insecurities. Now, spoilers suggest that Port Charles might be witnessing one of Britt's most unexpected story arcs yet, her budding bond with Rocco Falconeri, the son of Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri. Could the boy who has already lived through more upheaval than most adults soften Britt's hardened exterior and become the surrogate son she never knew she needed? Let's dive into how this surprising connection could unfold, the emotional fallout, and what it means for the future of both characters. Britt Westbourne has always lived on the razor's edge. Between her tumultuous family ties, being the daughter of supervillains Caesar Faison and Liesel Albrecht, and her own history of schemes, she hasn't had an easy time carving a stable life. Her attempt to live honestly during her romance with Jason Morgan showed fans just how far she had come. Yet Jason's disappearance shattered her, and when coupled with her Huntington's diagnosis, Britt found herself spiraling back into isolation. Spoilers tease that Britt's story is far from over. Though her Huntington symptoms loom, her heart is about to find new purpose. Her return to Port Charles's hospital scene isn't just about medicine, it's about rediscovering her humanity in the most unlikely of places. Rocco Falconeri, the child of Dante and Lulu, has had a rocky childhood. He was at the center of surrogacy drama even before he was born, and as he grew, his world became increasingly complicated. With Lulu in a coma and Dante struggling to balance his duties as a father with his career and love life, Rocco has often felt left behind. Though surrounded by loving family, grandmother Laura Collins, Uncle Nicholas, when he isn't presumed dead, and countless extended relatives, Rocco's story has remained one of longing. What every child craves most is stability, and for Rocco, that has been in short supply. Spoilers suggest that Rocco is about to get a lifeline, though from a source no one would expect. It begins simply enough. Rocco accompanies Laura to General Hospital for a checkup after she experiences stress from another Port Charles crisis. While waiting in the corridor, Rocco grows restless, his curiosity pulling him toward the nurse's station. Enter Britt Westbourne, filling in during an emergency and showing her famously curt bedside manner. At first, sparks fly, but not the good kind. Rocco, with the blunt honesty of a child, calls her out. "You don't smile. Don't doctors make people feel better?" Britt, caught off guard, delivers a biting retort, but Rocco's innocent eyes disarm her. Instead of storming off, he lingers. Something about the boy stirs an ache in her, perhaps because his fearless truth-telling reminds her of herself as a child, longing for love but armored with sarcasm. This chance encounter plants the seed of a relationship no one could have predicted. Britt has always been defined by her complicated relationship with motherhood. Years ago, she schemed to pass off Dante's son as her own, only to lose him and be branded a fraud. Later, her genuine love for her son Ben, who turned out to be Lulu and Dante's biological child, renamed Rocco, was ripped away when the truth came out. Yes, Rocco is the very child at the center of Britt's darkest chapter. She tried to steal him once. And now, fate has looped them back together. Spoilers suggest this is no coincidence. In true GH fashion, the circle of life, redemption, and irony couldn't be more poignant. For Britt, connecting with Rocco isn't just about filling a void. It's about healing the deepest wound of her life. As Britt spends more time around Rocco, whether volunteering for a hospital project, covering for Laura during errands, or simply being drawn into Falconeri drama, she begins to step into a surrogate mother role. At first, Dante is wary. His history with Britt is checkered at best, and the idea of her being near his son raises every red flag. But as he observes their interactions, Dante softens. For all her flaws, Britt seems to truly care for Rocco in a way that is selfless, a rare sight for the Britch. Rocco, meanwhile, finds in Britt a kindred spirit. She doesn't coddle him like other adults do. She listens, treats him as an equal, and even teases him in ways that feel like real friendship. For a boy who often feels like everyone is walking on eggshells around him because of his parents' drama, Britt's blunt honesty is refreshing. Of course, nothing in Port Charles unfolds without friction. Laura Collins, ever protective of her grandson, is alarmed to see Britt back in his orbit. The memory of Britt's deception years ago, when she claimed baby Ben as her own, is not one Laura easily forgives. She warns Dante to keep a close eye on the situation. Meanwhile, Liesl Albrecht sees this as an opportunity. Having always longed for Britt to embrace motherhood, she champions the bond with Rocco. In Liesl's mind, fate has delivered her grandson back to Britt. The tension between Laura and Liesl sets the stage for classic GH clashes, two grandmothers fighting over what's best for the child, with Dante caught in the middle. Over time, Rocco chips away at Britt's walls. He asks her questions no one else dares. Why don't you have kids? Do you get lonely when you go home? Is that why you're so grumpy sometimes? These questions cut Britt to her core. But instead of lashing out, she begins to open up in small ways. She shares stories about her own childhood, her struggles with her parents, and even her Huntington's diagnosis. For the first time, Britt allows herself to be vulnerable with someone who doesn't judge her. Rocco becomes not just a surrogate son, but her confidant. In his innocent acceptance, she finds the unconditional love she has always craved. Spoilers hint at a devastating turn. As Britt's symptoms begin to subtly worsen, Rocco notices. Perhaps it's a slight tremor, a lapse in memory, or a moment of weakness she tries to hide. Children are perceptive, and Rocco asks the questions adults are too afraid to. Are you sick? Are you going to die? This moment could be one of the most heart-wrenching in GH history. Britt, who has spent her life masking vulnerability, finds herself unable to lie to Rocco. She admits the truth, in age-appropriate terms, and Rocco promises to stand by her. Their bond strengthens, becoming almost unbreakable. Dante faces a moral quandary. On one hand, Britt's relationship with Rocco seems to be healing them both. On the other, he fears what will happen when Britt's illness progresses. Is it fair to let his son grow attached to someone he could lose? This storyline echoes Dante's own history. Having lost Lulu to her coma, he knows the pain of attachment followed by loss. Allowing Rocco to bond with Britt forces him to wrestle with his own grief and fear. Ultimately, spoilers suggest Dante will step back and allow the relationship to flourish, recognizing that Britt is giving his son something no one else can. In soap operas, redemption is never straightforward. Britt's past is littered with lies, schemes, and betrayals. Yet her bond with Rocco could be the truest form of redemption. By becoming a positive force in his life, she heals not only her own wounds but also begins to rewrite the narrative of her character. Imagine the dramatic beats. Laura slowly acknowledging that Britt has changed. Dante, against all odds, thanking her for being there for Rocco. Liesl, moved to tears, seeing her daughter embrace motherhood in her own way. For Britt, who has always been haunted by being the Britch, this could be the storyline that finally allows her to step into the light. Of course, GH wouldn't be GH without heartbreak. Britt's Huntington's diagnosis is a ticking clock. Spoilers suggest her bond with Rocco will grow stronger just as her symptoms accelerate. The tragedy of it all is Shakespearean. Just as she finds the sun-like bond she has longed for, time begins to slip through her fingers. Rocco, too, will be tested. For a boy who has already endured so much loss, facing Britt's decline will be devastating. Yet it may also shape him into a stronger, more compassionate young man. GH thrives on generational storytelling, and this arc could set the stage for Rocco's future as a character with depth and resilience. Britt and Rocco's bond isn't just about two characters. It's about legacy. By tying Rocco back to Britt, the woman who once claimed him as her own, the writers create a powerful full-circle moment. It also breathes new life into Britt's character, ensuring that her eventual farewell, whether temporary or permanent, is one of redemption, love, and humanity. For fans, this storyline offers everything: nostalgia, irony, emotional resonance, and the kind of unexpected bond that makes soaps unforgettable. General Hospital spoilers tease that the most powerful relationships aren't always romantic. Sometimes, they are the surprising connections between adults and children, forged in pain but shining with hope. For Britt Westbourne, Rocco Falconeri could be the missing piece of her heart. And for Rocco, Britt might just be the guiding light he never knew he needed. The Britch has always been tough, sharp-tongued, and self-protective. But in the eyes of a child, especially one tied so deeply to her past, she might finally find the soft place to land she's been searching for all her life.